Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? Russ here from Poker's Corner, biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dare say. Right then, after a heavy weekend at Everton, I went to that cream. Mikey, you missed it. Oh, you're out there in. Is he gone now? Mikey who comes on channel. He's gone to China. He's gone to China for a month, so doing a lot of travelling. So you missed cream in Birmingham at weekend, Michael. I don't know. And you'll do hope to get out in the session with me. Right, let's get stuck straight in. That Hearn coming on in an hour, so we'll keep this short and sweet. Well, it depends how long I'm going to go on for. I'm going to get my focus right here. Right. I'm going to start with Usyk and Wilder. I keep seeing a lot of chat about Usyk and Wilder. And people basically sticking it to Usyk because he's going to fight Wilder. Now, we can't expect Usyk to fight roadman after roadman after roadman. Even proper roadmen don't do that, do they? But Usyk's had probably 16, 17 fights on track that have been tough ones, hasn't he? You know, he's had to move up a weight as well from cruiserweight. Uh, it's a legacy fight, yes, but it's also a voluntary. It's not a mandatory, it's a voluntary. Now, WBC rules, not that they stick to them anyway, because they're a load of shithouses. WBC rules, which can be overpassed at any time, clearly state a voluntary can take anybody in top 15, so they work down the list. Well, usually they work from bottom upwards, don't they? But you'd have thought Usyk would be in a roadman and work his way down. And he says that with Wilder. Now, Wilder's always been affiliated with WBC. Anthony Joshua was at one point, till he realised that it was going to be Wilder. Then he jumped to IBF for an easy one. People forget that, don't they? Absolutely forget that. So I ain't got a problem with Usyk fighting Wilder. He dusts him, and there you go. They let Roy Jones Calzaghe fight go on, didn't they? And Roy Jones was shot to shit, wasn't he? But he got the name on his record, didn't he? Like Frott's got Robin Reed on his record, didn't he? But he was finished when he got in with Frott. Uh, so no, I haven't got a problem with Usyk fighting Deontay Wilder. No way. No way have I got a problem with that at all. What's there? What's my fucking button? No good with tech shit, me, am I? Why not Usyk Wardley though? Why not? Why are they not pushing for that fight? I don't know. He's vacated, fair enough, but sure they could have got that fight on if they really, really wanted to. Personally, looking at Bricktop past record and what he does, handling fighters, he likes to keep a title for himself, doesn't he? He's not going to put Wardley in with Usyk because he get beat, won't he? And then he's not got an olive branch into the heavyweight division. So it's worked out for Bricktop to get Usyk stripped or vacated or whatever's gone on behind the scenes. Who cares? He could come back at any time he wants, Usyk, and punch Wardley up any time he wants. But Wardley's there on merit. So I don't see any mention of Caballel. People saying Usyk's a roadman. I've been a big advocate for that. Call Caballel, it's hard night's work for him, though, that, isn't it? Is it a cash out? I don't know. I think what is he, 39 in a couple of weeks, Usyk. So next month, on the 17th of January, same day as Ali, he's 39 years of age. So Father Time's catching up with him. Maybe he just wants this Wilder one he can get out then. So he's done everybody in the ear, hasn't he, then? He ran and ragged at cruiserweight. Joshua twice. Fury twice, John Coffey twice, Chisora has done him. And obviously now he's going to do Wilder. So it's not a bad resume, is it? So we can't give Usyk too much stick. We can't give him too much stick, is my opinion. Adrian Mowell versus Eddie Hills. Hills, the Iceman, 7-0 from Billericay. No fucking footage, though. Eddie's trying to drown him out, but sticking up for himself. Eddie's had it easy all his life, hasn't he? He left school, didn't he? Well, he got kicked out of school, didn't he? Then he went to work in the city in London, and he couldn't hack it, could he? And he came crawling back to his old man, didn't he? Basically. So Eddie's had a leg up, but he's done well, hasn't he? He's done well for himself, but he's had it on a plate, and he's never had to overcome adversity in his life. Never. A bit like Prince Andrew, these privileged kids from private school. Now, his book that he brought out is called Relentless. I don't call that relentless, me. No. Being spoon-fed all your life. How can that be? How? How? How can that be? Hey, let's see if we can spruce this up a bit here. How can that be? Hey? That's a bit better, isn't it? I'm not sure, but I just think that it's in bad taste in going after Ben Shalom. Why? Why would you do that? Why is there something that's gone on behind the scenes? Did Ben Shalom, aka Adrian Mole, sink boxing? Well, I don't think he's sunk boxing, but you say Sky Sports has been the mainstay for boxing for 30 years, hasn't it? Wouldn't you really? Ben Shalom gets in mix, and there's no Sky Sports now for boxing. So we're going to see, aren't we? So all Eddie's biscuits are all in one basket, aren't they? Now with DAZN. That's how I look at it. And if that falls through, well, why can't Matchroom put their own shows in with their own production? They're supposed to be $1 billion company, aren't they? Why don't they go get a platform? Because then they've got to put their hand in the pocket, haven't they? Hey, these companies worth $1 billion, but yet they haven't got their own production. I think Dave Allen's putting his own shows on with his own production. Dennis Hobson's been doing it for years with their own productions. Why don't they go pay out? Dip into that £1 billion you've got. So that's how I look at it. A lot of talk this week about Big Freeze. Should Big Freeze retire? Well, approaching 35-year-old, he's had 12 fights, winning 9, 58 rounds under his belt as a pro. No, I don't think he should retire. But he needs a big win to get back in mix. A David Adelaide, Solomon Dakras. He needs a decent-ish win, not a Tete win. Tete's his best win. Houston, we've got a problem. We're talking about an Olympic bronze medal guy here. Olympic bronze medalist. Can't be spoon-fed on his way back. Like Big Elmer Fudd. Big Elmer. Did everybody see it? Oh, God, what's happened to Big Elmer? He was charging like the Rhino, wasn't he? In round 1. I mean, I was watching it. It reminded me when Norman Wisdom got in ring. Do you remember him? Oh, Laurel and Hardy. Oh, my God, what we're doing, Big Elmer. Light-hearted entertainment of the evening. Okay, now I bet Eddie were having kittens watching that. I mean, who can they put Big Elmer in with now? Who can Big Elmer fight now, right? That's going to be any good. Hey, oh, go, go, go. Did you see me in your heart? Oh, go, 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 go. Oh, he's my friend. No, I like him. Oh, he's a good friend of mine. Big O. Big Elmer. Big O. More on Big Elmer in a bit, but what about Big Elmer and Big Freeze? Can you imagine that? Big Freeze staggering about with jelly legs. Big Elmer running and grabbing him round waist, pretending he's a rugby player. He got hit that hard. Thought he were on rugby field, didn't he? Charging and grabbing him round waist in one. Oh my God, talk about Kurt Cole and Tony Sims got me through this fight. And we've got Bellew saying that Derek Chisora was shouting advice out from ringside. Oh my God. Tony going into bat. For Derek, his friend, my friend. He's a friend of mine. He's my Big Elmer. Where does he go now? Big Oaf. Where does he go now? The Big Oaf. Just at local Chinese and eats a load of sweet and sour pork balls with special YYs. That's what he's going to do now. Big Elmer. Big O. Embarrassing. Matchroom will look at that now and they'll be like, oh my God. And would Tony Sims, esteemed trainer, who Gareth A. Davis keeps going on about him as this esteemed trainer, Tony Sims, would he want to put his name to Big Elmer? Big Oaf. Would he? Hey, I bet Rhino's like that, thinking, oh God, give me a trilogy with Big Elmer. Big Oaf. So it is what it is, but for me, I thought it was funny. I thought it were really, really funny. If that's me being harsh, so be it. I don't care. Big Elmer. Big Oaf. Mark from Stoke, how are you doing? Give me an email. Pop, pop, bang. A lot of criticisms come in, hasn't it, for that BBC show that Big Freeze were on. I don't think it was too bad. I've had a little look at it again. Thought production could have been a bit better, but they're only on a small budget, not like the zone, aren't they? But look, main thing is just get the boxing on. Do you know what I mean? When we had Barry McGuigan and Ujo Pedrosa on, 20 million watched it, didn't they? We all want going on about lighting because half of that fancy lighting that Canning conveyors do from works up, it's just lighting to make the room look full. That's all it is. That's all it is. Who cares who's there? Just put the good fights on, and the crowds will follow, won't they? Frank Bruno, look how many used to watch Frank Bruno back in the day, and Kirtland Lang, all them sort of guys, Alan Minter, because they're in good fights, weren't they? So Big Freeze and TKV, a British title fight, it was a good fight, wasn't it? Really. So who cares, really? You know, they both put a lot of effort in, didn't they? So one man won, one man lost. But I think Eddie's sticking it to Ben Shalom all the time about production. That's not to do with him, is it? So it is what it is. At least he's got there on his own merit. Eddie Hills, and like you got there because of your daddy. So, right. TKV, what next for him? Well, there's a hardcore boxing fan, and some of you love the sports. And a month before my 10th birthday, I watched Minter and Agler. So some of you watched boxing for a long time, 45 years. I think that British title fights, it's got to be the yardstick, isn't it, that for TV shows. You've got to have at least a British on there, haven't they? None of this trinket stuff. Got to be at least a British title on there and more. Eddie promising us world title fights every show, one here, a bit back. Every show we're going to put world title fights on. Well, there ain't enough world champions in the country now, is there? We've got Nick Ball. He's the champion. Fabio Wardley were upgraded. On it, Lewis Crocker, he's Irish. That's where we're at. That's where we're at with world champions in the UK. If any have missed out, let me know. So, got to be a British title on every show on TV. And Ben Shalom's put a British title on, an heavyweight British title on BBC. Who cares about production and how many were there? So, it is what it is. So, Eddie, stop being jealous just because the Sky door's shut. You knew what you were doing at Sky Sports, Eddie Hills. You knew what you did towards the end. You were putting absolute pish on at Sky, absolute pish, while you were double dipping with DAZN, a bit like Juggies Oliver. We're doing his white collar stuff with that Joe Weller and them. You remember that, don't you, Juggies? Hey, you remember, don't you? Filling your boots, not giving a shit about the sport of boxing. So don't you go on about the sport of boxing and how you love it so much. You're there to fill your boots, you little shit house. On jug ears. Thought I'd get that one in and get a jug ears dig in. Rhino said after the Makminov fight that TKV is not on his radar or Big Freeze. That was said on a three-way Zoom with Eddie Hills, the Iceman, and that human monitor lizard. Hooked. Human monitor lizard. But now he's saying, yeah, TKV in summer at Sheffield. So he is on your radar now. Wow. Well, that's a bit of a sudden change, isn't it? Or is that because Eddie says he wants to make that fight? Is that because of that? Because you were saying, no, I want a bigger name than TKV and Free, you know, something like Zhang or, you know, whatever. So it is what it is. You get beat against Zhang, David. TKV, that's a pick and fight, isn't it, if you turn up? But you'd say he's favourite, wouldn't you? TKV, but anything can happen. Ben Whitaker, is he a hype job? Well, the guard, Gareth A. Davis, another part of the human monitor lizard liquor squad, he's bowled up, hasn't he? And he said that he thought that it's been overhyped since he beat that guy. And yeah, he beat a guy that had only beat men with losing records. So he beat a hype job. And now they're turning him into a hype job. That's all. A few Instagram followers and a flashy knockdown against a journeyman does not make you Michael Spinks as a light heavyweight. All right, Ben Whitaker. And let's not forget, it's not so long ago that Eddie Hills and Spotty Frank and Bellew and all them lickers, Darren Barker, the liquor squad, were saying that Ben Whitaker's not the real deal after Liam Cameron put it on him. We're all saying, ooh, could be another David Price job. Well, that's what they were saying. So since then, he's knocked Liam Cameron out and he's knocked Journeyman out. And all of a sudden now, it's Michael Mora. So it is what it is, isn't it? So we're going to see. But for me, the jury is out. I want to see him in with Spider Richards, Dan Aziz, Lyndon Arthur. Let's see what happens when he gets it back and he gets took by that 6th or 7th round. Let's see if he can do the rounds. If you're blowing out his ass after 4 rounds against Liam Cameron. So it is what it is. Nigel Benn, son, Conor Benn, aka Crusher Benn, Garcia. Oh wow, Ryan Garcia. They're saying it's in talks, right? That's in talk. So if Crusher Benn, right, can do £147, which is not done for 4 years, let's see. But he's been slotted in there for a reason. So if they're going to make the Ryan Garcia fight, the WBC are going to get the commission off a big payday, a big stadium fight, isn't it? Because he's like a bit of a sensation, isn't he, Ryan Garcia? He's a bit controversial. Crusher's a gimmick fighter, so it's going down that gimmick WWE route, isn't it? Them two fighting, but Eddie won't be bothered about dragging him down from 160 to 147. They're going to get paid and they'll want 2 bites at the cherry. Trust me, but It's one drug cheat versus another, isn't it? But will anybody mention in the press conference that how do you both feel, both testing dirty and now fighting each other? They're both denying it, aren't they? Eh? Nobody ever admits it, do they? It's like being a rapist, isn't it? You're not going to admit it even when you're guilty. Oh, listen. Most innocent man in jail. Yeah, okay. But if Crusher Ben loses to Ryan Garcia, he can say, bruv, I've been a middleweight for a year. Bruv, eating seats, personal best, smashing it. He can say all that, can't he? He's got a ready-made excuse. But he'll get 2 bites at cherry, and will he be bothered? 2 fights. They're saying he's an 8-figure fighter now, so 2 fights there, another 20 million in bank. And he's still not won a British title. You see where I'm coming from? Whatever these people say, leading up to building fights and all that, they're going to go around houses. You're going to hear them name people like Aney, Garcia, Crocker. They're going to name Boots, and they'll throw you 6 or 7 names out. Then the curveball will come in at end. That's all it is. So you've got to look at it like these promoters and all their lickers from the liquor squad are going to keep spouting to keep their names out there. So whatever they say, look at it as BS. There's BS and there's big oaths. So it's what it is. His dad, Nigel Benn's been inducted into Hall of Fame 30 years after retiring. So it took long enough. They ran out of people to put in there. I mean, he's been overlooked 25 times, hasn't he? But he has got 7 wins over former, current, and future world champions, which is same as Hagler and Leonard. So it's what it is, isn't it? So you'd have to squeak him in, wouldn't you, for that McClellan win? But there's always an asterisk next to that for me because he never got drug tested, did he? After always an asterisk. So Shaka Stevenson rumoured against Teofimo Lopez. What do I think to that? I think that's a good fight. I don't think Shaka Stevenson's a pound for pound future #1. I think he put our glass eyes to sleep, to be honest. You wouldn't pay to watch him, would you? He comes across all right, Olympic silver medalist. I think that's an hard night for him, but I think it's a points win for him. So, swing rounds. What are swing rounds, Porky? Well, swing rounds, we never hear anything about swing rounds until we see a fight where you have unofficial scoring from the DAZN human monitor lizard gang, Parker, the guard, Juggies, any of them lot, or a talk sport one from Cattle and all that. And whenever they're way off the mark, they can twist it on a couple of rounds. All you've got to do to twist the fight, really, is say, well, there's a couple of swing rounds in there because that takes 2 rounds into 4, doesn't it? Well, there's a couple of swing rounds, could have gone either way. And that's what gets them out of jail. And also, they can narrate a story for a rematch or for a bit of controversy. That's what swing rounds are for me. It's like people in the industry wanting to go into bat for the mates and water things down. You know, like, for example, Tyson Fury clearly lost 9 rounds against Usyk and had a 10-8 count in one of them, didn't he, in the first one? And what I find amazing is when they have it, when the judges have it wide, other people like the GAD and people like that can just come in and say, well, there were a lot of swing rounds, I had it a lot closer. They can go into bat for Fury to stay on side and to stay in the mix for access and to stay in the mix with Bricktop. That's why these people do it. Just watch what happens from now on. Now I've come out with this. Watch what they do now on TalkSport. What they'll do, they'll start not mentioning swing rounds because they know it's a get out of jail free card. And that's all it is. It's for them to get their friends and people in the industry out of fucking jail and to get themselves out of jail if they've got the scoring wrong. Well, a couple of them rounds are close. Well, if they're fucking close, give them as 10-10s. It's as simple as that. Swing round bullshit. So, it's what it is. We spoke about Usyk Wilder. What do I think to that? Look, Wilder's in top 15. Usyk's been given a mandatory. It's within the rules. He picked a guy ranked 13. So we spoke about Atoma Wardley. I don't see anybody wanting to make that. Bricktop always used to go on about, well, why don't they make Barker? Let Barker step up to super middle and fight Froch. Things like that. It's in-house. Eddie should be making that. Well, you should be making Wardley Atoma. They're both under your banner. Cabayel's under your banner. Why not Wardley Cabayel? We all know what goes on with Lobby, you know. Moses Atoma, Cabayel. Oh, I don't mention that one, do you? Cabayel's parked up because he's commercially pony. He's no good on social media and he's absolute pony. So, it is what it is. And look, blasting through today, aren't we? So how long we've done here? Oh, yeah. J.O. Patia has done that Sin Cara, knocked him out. Looks like he might have some neck issues or spinal injuries or whatever. I hope he's all right. My prayers are going to be with him and his family. Boxing's a rough sport. What he overmatched. Yeah, Opatia's top £10 for pound easily, isn't he? Very, very easily. He doesn't lose rounds, does he? He's an elite fighter. Whether he can carry it up from cruiserweight, we don't know, but he looks very elite. I don't understand the situation with him and Eddie Hills. I don't understand the situation, what's going on there at all. I don't care. He's an Aussie anyway, so he's not a Brit. So, but he can fight. So, I hope he moves on to bigger and better things. But it looks like he's going a bit stale commercially. And Matchroom are only interested in you guys like Conor Benn, aren't they, really? And Johnny Fisher and Joshua, because they're all a bit commercial, aren't they? On different levels. But OPT is not really commercial, is he? Plus, he's at other end of the world. So, but he is an absolute superstar. Maybe he might need a change of scenery. We're going to see, but it looks like he's not burning his bridges with Eddie Hills. But Eddie doesn't seem to be going into bat for him, does he? So a bit like Amo Williams. Remember him? He was best thing since sliced bread, wasn't he, at one point? What you been saying lately about Amo Williams, Eddie? This is my new best friend. That was last year. Now he's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. So a Matchroom dropping the ball with J.O. Patia. Just curious. Conor Walker. What did I think to that at weekend? Well, going to Olympics and that doesn't mean shit, does it really? It doesn't mean shit. Pat Brown, is it over for him? Well, I think you'll see people go very quiet on him now, won't you? He'll get the old Ben Whitaker treatment now, won't he, that he got after he fought the Cannonball. Sam Jones going to be fucking unbearable now and if it next few months. All you're going to see, and I ain't even seen today, but you'll see yesterday's Sunday sermon. I was on Button Moon yesterday. Today's Monday, the Monday Mass, Titty Tuesday, and the Wednesday Wank. That's all you're going to have all week from Samuel Jones. He's going to be ramming Conor Walker down our throats as the new Mark Breland. And get ready. Sorry, not Pat Brown, sorry. Will Pat McCormack, so I keep calling Pat Brown. Will Pat McCormack, will he follow Anthony Joshua out the door at the Ben Davidson Performance Centre? Remains to be seen, but he's done well with Lee Wood and he got Lee Wood out of jail a few times, and he Ben Davidson, but I'm starting to wonder if he's going to be able to sustain it. Look, they all get losses as trainers, don't they? But when that fight were announced, I was like, woo! That's a bit of a roll of the dice for both parties involved, and it's come out good for Conor Walker. So should he get a world title fight on the strength of that? No. He shouldn't, but they'll try and get him in a big fight so Sam Jones can get a big payday. That's what you're going to get now. You're going to watch Sam Jones be absolutely unbearable. Isn't that right, Sam? You're going to be holding on to Eddie Hearn's ball sack now for the next 6 weeks, aren't you, Sam? That's what's going to happen now. You're going to be talking swing rounds, apples and pears, cheeky Nandos, the job lot. So, Shabazz Masood, he done that Peter McGra on points for European sub bantamweight title. I think that's McGrail's more or less Goose's cook now. I think so. I think he's found his level now. I don't think he's a Paul Butler. Future Paul, people were saying he's no Paul Butler, but I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So we will see. Good luck to Peter McGrail though, but if you're losing against guys like that, I don't think you're going to reach the top. You're not going to be in there with I know yous and people like that. I think that's about it, really. I just want to finish off on the commentary, these commentators and people being pundits around them. That's the first line of defence after the fight, isn't it? To coming into our homes, you know, on the TVs and whatnot. But I'm looking at, looking at the commentary and listening to them. Super Bean, Adam Smith, he's a hype job. You could have two tortoises walking down the street and he could make that into like a WBC heavyweight title walk-off. You know, it could be something like, oh, there's the power. There's the respect. He'd be like that. Ready for lift-off, Darren? You know, to Darren Barker. And they're like, ooh, both sat on a cucumber. But Darren Barker's commentary is so embarrassing. Why have we got Darren Barker week in, week out, commentating on fights that involve his personal friend and ex-trainer, Tony Sims, as fighters? Now, isn't that a conflict of interest? Because every time the other guy were landing on a Sims fighter, Barker doesn't say a word. But when his guy throws a punch, oh, he's coming forward now, he's winging him in. They're trying to tell us something that is not there, and it's gone on for far too long now. And I think that when we see people like Bellew commentating on matchroom shows and Barker, I think there's a big problem in industry because them two are the big cheerleaders for Matchroom. They're so off the charts that, well, if they don't do any work with Matchroom, where can they go in their lives? Who's going to give them work? Who will give them work on commentary? They might get odd gig on BBC on 5 Live or something, or odd talk sport gig, but they're not going to be able to go do no, are they really, in boxing? Yeah, Bellew might manage a couple of people. He's got Yazza Dickens, hasn't he? But he's dug up now, isn't he? But I don't think Barker manages some. Didn't him and Joe Calzaghe set some big management promotional company up? Nothing happened with that, did it? Same as everything else that Calzaghe's ever set up since he retired, never happened. So boxers should stick to boxing, rent a few houses out, and be happy. Like Nathan Cleverly, get out pub every day, be happy. But Barker and Bellew, they're great on me. It's become embarrassing. That AD Alapido, when he was doing bits with DAZN, we know about the Gad and Juggies and Judge Jordan, all these people. They've become embarrassing now, but they're in positions of power, but they're not doing the business, are they? They're not doing the business, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So there you go. All right. Better get myself a quick cup and I'll get airing on. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Okie doke. One peace out. Max, we'll get you on later if you behave. Aberdeen Andy, Ryan and Big Sean and Kent. Where's Kent? He's gone missing. I don't know. Kent's off boxing, I think, lately. Right. Booyaka.